This is my final slide, everybody. So I hope that the time hasn't run over, and I'm sorry for the next person. But this is something that I wanted to share with you, and this is going to be a little bit confrontational. Oops. Okay. So no mutation, the truth in the tribe, gender roles, family commitments, and no individuality. What I mean by this process is that, anybody that's got an 11th house Pluto, anybody that's got strong 11th house experiences, or a lot of Uranian situations, Mars in Aquarius, Venus in Aquarius as an example. When you look at the social structure of, and this is something that you got to really see into it. I'm going to try to capture your imagination here, but really see into it. Think about the gender roles and family dynamics that occur and what types of truths hold and model what is acceptable behavior and what is not acceptable behavior regarding a family and the traditions. I highly, highly encourage you to watch a film called Moana, okay, to really understand what this is about and what this means in relationship to to Pluto through Aquarius, the ongoing awakening within each of us and our relationship to our own family members and stuff like that. The black sheep of the family, the Aquarius, right? You have this non-conformity aspect of yourself. Your whole entire family is deeply, deeply rooted in saying, nope, this is religion, this is the faith, this is the way that we keep ourselves safe, this is how we've kept ourselves safe for many, 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 many years, this is an ongoing tradition, this is what we do. You come along and say, I have Pluto, I have Jupiter, I have Mars, all in this, not me personally, I'm just suggesting different configurations. And you've got this Aquarius symbol, and Aquarius is like, no, I'm all about mutation. I'm all about deconditioning. I don't want to follow the rules. I want to be rebellious. I want to change the way that we genetically define ourselves. So through this process, in the lost Pisces age, through the way that we have constructed family dynamics, the father sits at the top and so he gives the orders, the law, the mom, the deep faith process relative to their faith. So the family has a faith, the family structure, extended family, cousins, uncles, etc. They have a faith. And then in that faith, there is a law that says this is how you behave. And you one day say, I don't want to go to church. Does God really exist? Maybe to you he does, but to me, I find a different way of doing that. No, Sally, you're coming to church with us. I don't want to. I don't think this is okay for me. I don't want to experience it. I'd rather go play with my friend because that's where I experience the oneness in me. Why do you have to be so different? Why do you have to be this? That you can hear the judgment, the persecution, the belittling, the shaming experience that occurs. So what we have here is we have this tribal experience in which everything is about, we have this role to play, and if we don't adhere to those roles, then there's something wrong with us, and we internalize these unconscious and subjective experiences, and that leads us to deeply, deeply saying our individuality just gets suppressed and suppressed and suppressed until we act out of randomness, and we do something that causes the family to look at us and say, we never could understand why you behave this way, or why aren't you doing this? Or why aren't you doing that? Why I've supported you this way? It's all the blame. And really what it's about, it's just that when you look at the most recent religious conditioning, like for instance, if you were a nun or a priest, as an example, there were certain behavior patterns that you had to adhere to. And if you had desires, natural desires, the flesh desires, you couldn't adhere to them. So you would suppress them. So just the same here. You would suppress these processes, act out of randomness, run away from your family, and create deep karmic dynamics in which the bond between you two in your family would be not resolved in a way which there would be a natural separation. It would be traumatizing. And I know that I carry some of that as well. So not this one, but you have shamed our family. Get out of here and never come back. Those types of stories, many of you have lived if you've got an 11th house Pluto, a south node in the 11th house, right? Rejected, ostracized, and kicked out of group dynamics for being different, because there is no mutation in the tribe. There is no mutation within the process of the family commitments because it's not about individuality. It's about the process of what the society and the law and the faith exists within. So as we move into the Aquarius age processing and we begin to recognize the difference between resonance and faith, we'll start to realize that we are going to have a lot of confrontation with our families, because their structure is still going to be rooted in the process of their ideologies and belief systems and truths that are rooted in the separateness. Whereas the new way is, I don't resonate with this anymore, and my individuality puts me on that fractal and find people that do that and do this and so on and so forth. And that process actually begins to mutate our genetics as we begin to explore different cultures. We begin to travel to different parts of the world and interact with different types of threading of different genetics. Somebody from Australia moves to Taiwan, for instance, and finds somebody that they mate with. And they create a whole entire family that has a different ideology and belief system that's not even rooted in whatever their cosmologies were when they grew up. And so this is the Pluto through Sagittarius transit, the Great Migration. Saturn through Sagittarius. So as we begin to recognize the relationship that we have to our parents and we have to our family dynamics, I wouldn't be surprised if many of us, with this deep Aquarius mutation process of awakening ourselves, are going to feel rejected and ostracized and like we can't connect with our families in some way. And it's just really because, again, it's the process of gender roles, and this is not what you're supposed to do in that sense. Okay, everyone, thanks very much for letting me babble on for this amount of time. I really hope this was, capturing in some way, shape, or form. I don't actually know what time it is.